And out there on the WFO line, our first guest of the week on our Friday Cocktails show, Mr. Big Nasty, Kyle Seipel. How are you, sir?
What's going on, Joe? Appreciate you having me, pal. How things going out there in Florida?
Well, things are, well, you know what, the positive spin answer or the real answer? The real answer is everybody's on lockdown and we're bored, but we understand it's for a greater good, and so we're in full compliance. We're going to comply. But what about you? How are things out west?
Things are good, man. Things are good. Unfortunately, we had to postpone the Spring Fling Million out there in Vegas, and we're waiting on the LVMS to get us a date later in the year. But, we're surviving. We have Galot coming up in North Carolina at the end of April. We're hoping that that event will go off. Certainly things are out of our control as far as having the event or not. But we'll see what the governor of the state of North Carolina says, and things at Sonoma are on hold, and pretty much just like the rest of you, just waiting to burn out,
Everything's on hold, and we're all waiting for it to burn out, and it's unfortunate. But the way I'm looking at it is, if you don't wait for it to burn out all at once, it's going to take longer to burn out. And so I think the quicker we just hide out and stay inside and deal with it, the faster we'll be back to doing the things we love. At least that's the way I look at it. And I get a little frustrated. I see a lot of people saying, no, man, I'm going out there and I don't care. And it's like, oh, boy, that's how you're going to end up with it.
Yeah. And, unfortunately, the last 18 months, I've had quite a bit of practice with this. And I was actually hoping once the springtime came that I could get out of the house and enjoy myself. But, I've been fighting this cancer battle valiantly, and things have turned the corner there.
Yeah,
I got two good scans.
Tell me about that.
Scans in a row that shows. I got two scans. One scan about 2 weeks ago. One scan about 5 weeks ago that shows that my existing tumors are shrinking and things are going the right direction. So I'm very excited about that. I've had so much support from the racing community and friends and family, colleagues. It's unbelievable, but I think we finally turned the corner there, Joe.
Well, that is tremendous, and you're an inspiration, and I wanted to mention that. And people might be wondering, this is kind of out of nowhere having Kyle on, but not really, because you've got something really cool that I want to talk about going on. But really, it's also your situation fighting cancer has been an inspiration to so many people out there that have made themselves aware to you and not, frankly, but we've all been tracking it, and to hear that it has gone in a positive direction is such good news. Now, obviously, it's the kind of thing that it's going to always be on your mind, right? Like, this is not the kind of thing that you just forget about. Jack Beckman has informed us a couple of times, like, hey, man, it's always there, but good news. And you're the perfect person to talk to, because I think every citizen is kind of getting the feeling of what it might be like to be worried about your health condition all of a sudden, whereas normally only sick people are feeling that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Unfortunately, the last 18 months, I've had to battle stage 4 cancer twice, and I've learned the first time. I'm not going to say I beat it, trust me, but right now we got it kind of put away in the corner there, and hopefully it won't rear its head. But yeah, I mean, it's very psychological. Everything that I've been through and what a lot of people are going through now. Just have to tell yourself that this is a short-term problem, and that you will prevail. And that's pretty much the route I took. I wasn't going to let it defeat me, and at times the honest truth is that I was very down and have a huge amount of support, and that made a very big difference. Absolutely.
Tremendous. And for those of us who are annoyed that we can't go out and play, we could just have to think about people like yourself who have been through really serious trials to think Absolutely. It's no big, hey, I can handle this.
Yep, you got that right. No matter how good or bad you have it, there's always somebody that has it better. There's always somebody that has it worse. That's the way I try to lead my life.
Absolutely.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, well, thinking about others like that. And that brings us to one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on. I mentioned it the other day on our Facebook page live stream. And because I wanted to get people out there and build some awareness, you have released, like you're back and immediately diving into promoting and doing things. So you got a calling to do, build, create, rally people for a greater cause. And you're doing something for the folks at Racers for Christ. And it's called the Pros versus Joes Practice Tree Challenge. And folks can go to GoFundMe.com/Pros versus Joe's Practice Tree Challenge. You can search it or find it. It's on Facebook. It's on our Facebook page and in Kyle's, obviously, if you want. And people are being asked to donate a little bit of money. But for me, like, this is perfect to keep the drag racer's mind occupied during this downtime where we can't actually race. So talk about what it is and why you're doing it and how you came up with it.
No problem, man. I appreciate you asking. So Sunday, with myself, probably a lot of people in the same boat, I was watching the NASCAR event, the iRacing event, and I was very intrigued. Quite honestly, I thought it was a great show, a lot more exciting than I would have thought. So with a reality type of racing game, let's just call it. So I thought to myself, how can I try to do something in the drag racing community during this downtime where we can get everybody involved? And, I said, what if we can get people to hit the practice tree utilizing one of these video conferencing technology that's become so prevalent in the last couple of weeks that everybody reaching out. But so long story short, I reached out to myself and seven of my friends, along with racing friends, along with Mark Dawson, who's been very instrumental in making this happen. Mark Dawson is the general manager at Famoso Raceway and helps us out quite a bit with our spring fling events. But that being said, I reached out to seven friends and said, listen, let's all sign up for a Zoom account. Let's go and have a practice tree event tonight and just kind of do a dry run, see what happens. And so we all logged on. We all had quite a bit of fun. As a side note, both events, I won't name all 8 contestants, but both events that we did as a dry run Sunday night was Peter Biondo versus Jeff Verdi final. They split as a side note. So,
of course,
not that that's hard to believe, but it was pretty much a all-star cast, and it was Jeff versus Peter in both finals. So, anyways,
those guys are good. I hear those two are pretty good.
Absolutely, they're starting to get the hang of it. That's for sure, Joe. So we finished that off. I said, you know what? I have a lot of connections with the pros. Just mostly, they've helped me out so much through my illness that I've had a lot of communication with them. I said, why don't we try to do bracket racers versus the pros? And I think that would intrigue, a lot of different markets. And so, reached out to them and, 24 hours into it, after we did the dry run and figured out a way that we could actually make a show out of this, with it being something that's compelling and something that would be exciting. Here we are. So we have 8 of what I would say are pretty much the best pros out there from all of the 3 categories, along with 8 of the top bracket racers. And we've gotten a lot of excitement behind it, and most importantly, Rich Trimmer with Racers for Christ, he's been a very close friend for a long time. I know that with all these events canceling, that they are definitely in a position that they're a little strapped for cash, because that's where they get most of their income. So I reached out to him and said, listen, I want all the proceeds from this to go directly to you guys. I think that it's a great cause. You guys do a lot of great things for us racers, and this would be just a way for me to give back. And that's pretty much where you are, Joe. This Saturday afternoon, we're going to have all 16 contestants compete. We're going to download the show, and with the hopes of sometime next week, then a couple days after the race is finished, do a show for everybody to watch on YouTube, and looking forward to quite a bit of fun.
Love it. Love the idea. We'll talk about the contestants now, but I love the creativity and what you're doing. And again, there is a GoFundMe account out there, folks, and this is the money that is going to be raised. This is the charitable donations for Racers for Christ. All right, the pros. Yeah, pretty good collection. Jed Coughlin Jr., the natural, obviously, 5-time Pro Stock World Champion. Sean Langdon, 2-time. We had Sean on WFO this week, incidentally. Sean, 2-time Super Comp World Champion, Top Fuel World Champion, Junior Dragster Champion, Funny Car Race winner. He's pretty good. Erica Enders, 3-time Pro Stock Champion. Alex Laughlin, U.S. Nationals winner. Antron Brown, 3-time Top Fuel World Champion. J.R. Todd has won races in Top Fuel. He's a Funny Car World Champ. Bo Butner, Pro Stock World Champ. Ron Capps, world champ. Everybody is a world champion of some sort except for Alex Laughlin, and he's just a U.S. Nationals winner and unbelievable outlaw racer. That's a pretty good pros squad that you put together. Was there anybody that didn't make the cut, like somebody that was the first alternate? You don't have to say their name, but maybe you will.
Well, the Capto team, Steve Torrance, he was one of my first picks, and he unfortunately had some type of other business obligations. He wasn't able to make it. But other than that, everybody made it quite to be transparent. Alex Laughlin took Torrance's spot. But other than that, everybody was on board very, very quickly. So these are all my first choices, absolutely.
Excellent. And yeah, Torrance is incredible and has done a great job. But you've got all-stars here. All-stars, all going to log in. And before we give the Joes team, which, there was a show, in case people don't know, there was a show called Pros versus Joes. And I loved the show. I thought it was great because you'd get like this guy who was a, collegiate athlete who, stays active and plays in a basketball league. And, he's really good. He's better than anybody you know. He's the best guy. And he's like, man, I'd love to take on a professional dude. And they would set it up. And the guy would get destroyed, and he would try to tackle Bo Jackson, and Bo Jackson's all old and fat, and they ran right over him. But that's the pros team. Let's do the Joes team. Peter Biondo, who didn't he have a birthday yesterday? Wasn't Pete's birthday this week?
Absolutely. It was Thursday, March 26th. Absolutely.
So Peter Biondo, what is it? 6-time world champion, has won in 6 different eliminators, one of the greatest single, class racer, bracket racer, racers to ever live. Peter Biondo. Scottie Richardson, who his resume is as good when he ran consistently. Scottie was as good as they got. Jeff Verdi, the only guy to win $2 million races in the same year, in a door slammer, no less, towing across the country in a dually. Like, what's going on with that? Johnny Ezel, I don't know Johnny as much as others, but I know he's a killer. Corey Gallitti, another killer. Luke Bagacki, goes without saying, world champion. Of course, this is bracketracing.com. Gary Williams, Florida racer. Gary, I know Gary very well. Extremely tough. And Johnny LaBouche Jr., a Super Gas world champ, big money bracket racing family. And judging by the Joes team, I got the Joes team winning it. What do you think?
You know what? I would definitely lean that direction. But I will tell you, we're utilizing a pro tree, which isn't a huge deal. But that being said, there's no way for the Joes to bump down. Typically, they're off the top bulb, let go of the button, have a way to take some delay out or add delay. Let's just say with the pro tree, that takes it completely out of the equation. Don't sleep on this pros team. Jeg, you just named him off, but
I'm not sleeping on him, Kyle. They're all world champs, multi times.
I am leaning towards the Joes, but I will tell you for a fact it's going to be a lot closer than most people think. Absolutely.
It's pretty amazing. I'm just adding up the world championships just to do it. So we got 5, 3, 3, 3. So it's 14, 15, 16, 17 world championships on the pro side and countless great victories. That's pretty intense. But the amount of money, let's do this one. Which side has won more money? Pros or Joes?
Wow, that's probably Gary Williams has won the the Folk Million twice. That's a great question. You know what? I'd probably lean the Joes is probably won more prize money, even though the professional categories get a pretty good taste of the action at the end if they're a world champion, 100,000, a couple 100,000. But I bet you it's very close. But I bet you the Joes overall, they race so much more than the pros, most of them at least. I would lean the Joe's direction.
Pulling the championship bonus from Mellow Yellow out of it because that doesn't exist on the Joe's side. Strictly prize money. I'm giving the prize money lead to the Joes as well. And so there you go. All right. So, and this is like, we're not asking anybody to tune in to anything right now, but when you get the YouTube show ready, you will inform us via social media. What social media do you want our WFO listeners to go to so that they can be ready when you release this? And of course, we'll share it and all, but I want them to know where you're at too.
I think the easiest way is just follow me on my Facebook page. It's Kyle Seipel, KYLESEIPEL. Just follow me on Facebook. I'll have all the links there. That's the easiest way to do it, and really appreciate it. And looking forward to it, guys.
I think it's going to be great as well. And remember, you can donate. And how long does this donation deal go? There's now, as of time of discussion, it's like just about $2,000, and the goal is $10,000. So we certainly hope that we get to that $10,000 mark. And I think it's folks at Racers for Christ. Like, what a great organization! And how long is that going to remain open? With the show or with the actual competition being Saturday, how long is this thing going to remain open? And, of course, we want people to go and be a part of it. That way you reach your goal and are able to donate the money.
Great question. And the money goes to charity. So, I think realistically we should shut it down Saturday evening just because that's when the actual event is going to be finished. So let's just say Saturday evening at midnight, we'll shut it off, and the show should be out a couple days thereafter. So Saturday at midnight would be great. And if we could somehow get close to that $10,000 goal, I know all of our friends at Racers for Christ would definitely use that money right now. So
I think so.
Let's say Saturday at midnight. Yep.
I think so. I think so. Now, what about how are picks, like who runs whom, going to go down? Like, what's the ladder? How does that work?
I'm about 2.5 hours away from doing a live draw. My son and I are going to do a live draw on my Facebook page today being Thursday, but we'll know that drawing here within about 2.5 hours.
Well, excellent. All right, we'll be watching the Facebook page for the draw. Kyle, thank you very much for joining us on WFO. This is Friday Cocktails. What it is I'm in the studio and I'm bored and I turn on the mic and here we go. And now we got guests and information and pertinent stuff. So I appreciate you participating with us. And most importantly, glad you're back, man. Happy to have you back out there. Drag racing is better when you're involved.
I appreciate it, bud. Looking forward to it, and keep doing a great job with your show. I listen all the time.
Thank you very much for that. That means a lot. Thank you, Kyle, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much.